Let's talk about gradients of straight lines on a coordinate grid. So we already know how to find the gradient of a slope using the gradient formula, that is vertical distance over the horizontal distance. And we know that m means gradient, and we can shorten this to v over h. Now, if we have a line on a coordinate grid, we can use the same formula to find the gradient of the straight line. And to do that, what you need to do is create a right angle triangle with the line. Once you've got your right angle triangle, you can then count the horizontal distance by counting the boxes and the vertical distance by counting the boxes up the way. So our horizontal distance, if we count all the boxes horizontally, is 8, and for the vertical distance is 4. Now we know the horizontal and the vertical distance, so using the formula m equals v over h, we can write down the gradient, which is 4 over 8. And we can also simplify that if we want to by dividing the top and the bottom by 4. So we'll end up with 1 over 2, or a half. So the gradient of this straight line is a half. Now, if you're asked to find the gradient between 2 points, so for example, on this coordinate grid, we've got 4 points, A, B, C, and D, and we've been asked to find the gradient of AB. What you would need to do is draw a line between A and B, and then once you've got your straight line, you can then create your right angle triangle. And the same as before, count your horizontal distance, which is 3, and count your vertical distance, which is 9, and write it as a fraction, so vertical over horizontal, which is 9 over 3, and we know that means 9 divided by 3. So in its simplest form, the gradient for that line is 3. Now, the only thing you need to be aware of or watch out for is the way your line is sloping. So for example, if we're trying to find the gradient of the line between C and D, we can see from the grid that this line is sloping downwards from left to right. So that means the gradient is going to be negative. So we follow the same steps as before. We make a right angle triangle, count your horizontal distance, which is 5, count your vertical distance, which is 3, but because it's sloping downwards, our fraction is going to be negative. So vertical over horizontal, 3 over 5, but it's got to be negative because it's sloping down the way. So it's negative 3 over 5 is the gradient of the line between CD.